And we're back. I have with me Michael Bolton III, who just finished complaining about his makeup kit being dried out. In this match coming up, we have Rote Kapelle versus Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy. The pizza team is fielding 3 Harpies, Scimitar, and 2 Drakes.
And for the Rote Kapelle team, we have 2 Merlins, a Punisher, an Oracle, and an Oneros, and a Balgorn. I really was interested here when I saw the Balgorn because I was hoping it was their flagship, but it is not. The Rote Kapelle team's flagship is a Vindicator. So maybe we're going to actually see a flagship setup later on, because if they were going to use a Balgorn setup, why not make it your flagship? Oh, no flagships and qualifiers, I was just told. Sorry, I was misinformed.
Yep, and the match is
Uh,
underway. You have the pizza team getting distance, trying to get range. They're going to try to kite out the team. Once I saw these Drakes work on the field, I made sure to check, make sure they weren't hams, try to see if they were going to try go in and brawl with them, which hams have about a 30k range. The Drakes are at range, continue burning away, and they get damps on the Drakes from the Rote Kapelle side.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt the ability of those Drakes to kite. Drakes are not known for their tremendous block range, so we will see if they can use their heavy missiles to the fullest. Uh, we have yet to see DPS really late on any targets. What do you think about this Balgorn setup?
The Balgor setup, actually, we tested a few times with the goons, and we just didn't like the setup in general. The Balgorn itself, the newts are amazing, the webs are amazing. The problem with it is just the limit it has. Like, it doesn't have that great of DPS, and when you're pairing it with the other ships, it takes up a lot of points with it fielding being 20 points.
Also, here's another good question. Why would they go with 2 Merlins and then say, we've got these Merlins, what should our third frigate be? A Punisher?
The Punisher is a great anti-frigate setup. We've seen it a few times in the match, with taking out drones with the Punisher. It's kind of beefy for a frigate when it comes in comparison to the other T1 frigates. And the Merlin itself, for the pizza team, has a lot of mid slots, a lot of utility, like you've seen throughout the tournament. And you see on the pizza side, the first Drake is about half shield.
Yeah. It looks like those damps are really working quite well. That Drake is tackled and they're trying to get reps on it, but it looks like damage might be a little bit too much. They've been forced in so close that they have to be tackled to apply their heavy missile DPS just because they're damped so hard.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Really coming into play.
It's surprising to see that these Harpies on the pizza side aren't fitting counter EWAR, because you have to think that if they're going to field this setup, they're going to use heavy missile launchers, which your heavy missile launchers are going to reach out 65k. Then you're going to expect these Harpies to have some sort of counter EWAR to keep them from dampening these Drakes, or to just some remote sensor boosters to remote boost these Drakes so that they can hit out to their optimal range. But instead, this is working out extremely well for Rote Kapelle that the pizza team is being forced to come into DPS, and you see the Rote Kapelle Oracle going into armor.
Yeah, that Oracle is getting reps, and it looks like it's going to be able to handle it, sort of bouncing around right around the 80% armor range. If that Oracle goes down, I think that they have a pretty big problem, because they'll only have 2 Merlins, a Punisher, and a Balgorn, which likely has quite a few newts on there. Last time we saw some Balgorns, I believe there was a flagship that had all newts, had no guns, so that was last tournament. But we will see if they can handle it, and it's back up to 100%. I just don't know what this team can do.
It's going to come into a case where they're going to have to go for the hostile logistics. If they get the logistics off the field, they're going to be able to break the tanks. But right now, it just really is a standstill. The Drakes themselves have about 450, 500 DPS each, depending on what missiles they're using. They do get a kinetic boost, and it could be, I think the Balgorn actually has, with ENMs, has a decent kinetic resist.
Yeah. What do you feel about, while we're talking about logistics, we have armor logistics and shield logistics on each team. Which do you feel is better and when?
It really depends. Like I said, the last match, you had the Aneros as well. If you don't have a battleship that can cap transfer with it, like they could have done the cap circle with the Balgorn, but that would put their Aneros in range of everything else. The big factor in these fights is keeping that logistics out of range, keeping it safe. And I believe yesterday there was a match where their logistics, the Noli Secundus logistics, I believe, was a deciding factor in the match because he was able to kite back and forth out of range with Vargers. So the logistics is probably one of the most complicated ships on the field to fly. Teams really depend on it.
Yeah, no, we have the Punisher now, bouncing in and out and back up to. It was down to about 25% armor. Now it's back up to 100% armor. This is really, they've locked themselves in a stalemate, and unless I am unaware of the possible fits for these ships for the pizza team, none of them have the ancillary shield booster, or at least the extra large that's so strong.
Well, what you see
this is
now,
just straight up tank.
what you see now is the Harpies are getting on top of that Inaros. They're going for the Inaros. They're going to try to get it down. And the Drake for the pizza team, the one they've been shooting the entire match, it's starting to drop. I'm not sure. He must be getting in range, getting neuted. Yep, he does have a newt on him, but no other other tackle. Like I said, the Belgrun does get the web bonus, so it could be using that a lot more optimally to keep that Drake right next to it to get that full DPS applied.
Yeah, I think the MVP of this match for the Rote Kapelle team are these Merlins. Their damps on the Drake team is really making them come in and actually fight instead of just kiting around. I think that the Harpies for the Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy team would always have to come in, but these Drakes really don't want to be this close. Oh, we're about to see. Oh, please go down. Yeah, there we go. We just lost one of the Harpies for the Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy team. And if this match stays in this stalemate, that might be the points win right there.
Yeah, what you don't see going on right now is the Harpies are locking down that logistics, but what they could be also be doing is they could be popping those drones. They kill the light armor maintenance bots that are being popped out to repair this Narrows. But right now damage really is spread. I'm not sure what exactly the Drakes are shooting because you don't really see much going into anything. It's those Merlins, like you're saying, they're damping these Drakes. They can't get the DPS onto that Narrows.
Yeah, no. While we're in this bit of a stalemate, I noticed I really liked your choice in artwork. I think I can see a poster there on the back of your door. It's quite an elegant poster. We have the Oneros finally taking some armor damage. Let's see if they can. It just stops. I think that. Oh, whoa! That Drake is suddenly into dead.
Yeah, like I was just saying, the Belgorn finally switches webs over. They get that web on that Drake. He can't run that, and then the pulse lasers from the Oracle and the Belgorn just tore it apart. There's no way that Scimitar could have kept up with it, especially with those newts. Shut off the hardeners. This match really, I think it's going to be going for Rote Kapelle. There's nothing else that can be done for Pizza, being that they're just going to slowly lose the rest of the DPS ships. They can't beat the rep cycles of the Oneros on any other standard DPS ship, and the Oneros itself is in half armor, and they don't have the DPS to take it down.
Yeah, even if they do take down the Oneros in the remaining 2 minutes and some odd seconds, they just won't have time to take down anything else. They won't have the points to win, and it looks like Rote Kapelle, a tournament veteran, and even though Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy has a wonderful name, Rote Kapelle will be moving on. Although, Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy still has a chance with all these teams getting shut out. There's a slim chance that they can make it into the group stages and I get to say their name more times.
Yeah, I think this really came down to these Harpies not fielding support modules. I mean, they had nothing to counter those damps that went onto the Drakes. If they could have stayed at range, they could have done a lot more damage if those Drakes stayed out of the range of the Belgorn. That's really what it came down to.
I'm trying to do the quick math in my head. Are any of these frigates tackled? No, none of them are tackled. If Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy was able to snag 2 of these frigates, I think, and all 3 frigates and drop them in time before the end of the match, after they drop this Oneros, they might be able to eke out a victory in a last-second move. Hopefully, this could be really good. If this happens, I would be so excited. I don't think it's going to, unless these frigates realize what's happening and run away very quickly.
With the power of the Blarpies, they did just get the Oneros down. So the Oneros for Rote Kapelle just died. Fortunately, it's too late. All their DPS is down, and this Oracle and the Belgorn are just going to mop up.
Yeah, there was a slim chance there if the pilots had been like the best pilots in EVE Online, They had all been piloted by Shadu. Shadu was multi-boxing every client on the pizza team. There was a chance there, but unfortunately, I think Rote Kapelle has sealed this victory. We're going to see how many points they can race because they're only walking through with 30 points as of now, and that's not exactly the 50 points that you want in the ideal world.
And
So, yeah.
And CCP Shrieks has just announced 20 seconds left of the match. And I noticed your praise for Shadu that you have a portrait of said FC for Pandemic Legion on your back wall.
Oh yeah,
It,
it's
it,
actually I like to spruce up wherever I am, and nothing brightens up my day better than the best eyebrows in EVE Online.
yeah. But the match is over. Rote Capelle did take the victory. 30 points for Rote Capelle, 12 for Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy. I believe the next match is going to be Capital Punishment versus Suddenly Spaceships.
Well, we look forward to seeing you guys in the next match. Sure to be an exciting one.